This segment of Hak5 is brought to you by Ting.
So I'm like, IR, is that infrared? I got that on my P133.
Yes.
So
I have my old laptop that uses
so
that.
when did you start trolling incident response teams?
When they made me.
It was just one of your natural attributes.
Yeah, I mean, it just came from spending a whole lot of time setting up this very sexy fish, and you know, you get Susie, who always gets fish because she's like the first one on the web page, and she reports her stuff because she doesn't trust anything that comes in. She's like the one trained person in the organization.
Yeah.
So we wanted to, instead of spending all this effort and getting owned and getting it shut down as soon as you start, was send an email that you want to get caught. Let the incident response process do its thing. So see if are they coming from like an outside IP address, or do they come from their corporate domain space? Who do they submit the URL to for analysis? So does it go to WebSense? Does it go to Blue Coat? Who does it go to for all the analysis? Who does it get sent to? Because it gets sent to the Russian sites, you know, all the antivirus places. And you can actually see all those guys hit your site, pull down the payload, and do all that stuff. And basically you can watch them run the analysis via your Apache logs.
So you're basically setting up like a honeypot, and you're kind
for
of like
the IR guys.
for the incident response. So it's like your red team's basically trying to figure out what the response team does, so that now you can better attack them.
Well, it's the idea is, well, I don't want the incident response guys to go to my page and shut me down. I want them to go somewhere else. I want the company's users to go to the fish page and do whatever the point of the fish was.
Yeah.
And so when you basically learn what IPs are coming from, you learn if a human's actually going to go in and do analysis or if it's all automated. And so basically use Apache and mod rewrite rules to, hey, when this IP address comes in,
I love that.
Go to this site, go to the real corporate site instead of the one I cloned.
Yeah.
And so it definitely slows them down, and it can definitely slow down the automated tools, because
and then you see where they're coming at you from.
You'll see where they're coming at, and they come from the same IPs, or it'd come from the same IP space. And with mod rewrite, you can do it by a single IP to a whole range. So you can say all 192.168 addresses, I want to go here. And so it just takes them all, sends all of WebSense, Blue Coats, or whoever's IPs somewhere else. And so they now have to figure out that that's being done to them, and then find another, tether their laptop, and then check and finally get to the site, which gives you time for your fish to do what you were trying to do.
I love that. It's totally trolling them, because you're like, hey, look, shiny, easy target.
You can do things like, and you can also do it by the things that are in the user agent. So you can send wget and curl and other things to somewhere else. So every time they try to wget the site, it goes to their site, or it goes to Google, or it goes anywhere else. It just
I love those little mod rewrite rules.
Yeah, it just slows the process down. It slows their things, and it makes them put a human into it, so they can't immediately block you, and you have some time for the work you put into to take effect and do what it needs to do.
Yeah, maybe just forward the IR team to GoatC every single time.
You can send them to ethical hacker training. Go learn how to do some stuff. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You can be mean, or you can be very covert about it. A lot of times if we've cloned someone's website, they just go to the real one. And so they're trying to find this page on the real corporate site, which doesn't exist.
Brilliant.
And,
I love
and you
that.
can see it because it's a 302. You can see the request in the Apache logs. You're like, cool, it hits, and you can see mod rewrite doing this thing and sending them off somewhere else. And they just keep trying and trying and trying, and it just doesn't work.
That's awesome. Tell me about the LinkedIn stuff, because that's been getting a lot of buzz here at the con.
Okay, so LinkedIn. Same thing. So LinkedIn has a really cool API. You can use it to find the people that work for a company. We started playing with that because I kept wanting to take company X and then use programmatically scrape that and get email addresses and turn users.
Is that like part of your method of phishing? Is like get friends with somebody in the organization, scrape emails, and that way you know who to target?
Yeah. So in general, because we end up doing tech companies, with the people I'm already connected in LinkedIn. I usually have some sort of association, like a second or third order. And so we actually ended up doing a pen test where I had to do open source intelligence gathering, and I had no connection to the company. And so when I went to go try to find emails and looked at people on LinkedIn, I really had a very, very limited set of people that I could pull from. And I was like, well, this is no fun. How do I get around this? Because this place has 10,000 employees, but I can't see them.
Yeah. Chris G. Hacker wants to be your friend.
Right. So what we ended up doing is I talked to Mubix, and we kind of brainstormed, and the idea was, okay, let's make an account, and that's not tied to me, because I don't want, Chris Gates has looked at, clients' things. So I'm doing this ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't want them knowing. It doesn't take much to say, oh, Chris works at Lars. We have a pen test coming up. Oh, well, I'm gonna get an email, or now I'm on high alert. So I wanted someone that wasn't me to be able to go and look at people's profiles. And then we kind of figured out the LinkedIn Open Networkers thing, where it's people that want to have a zillion connections. So recruiters and people that just love to have all these cool things on Facebook. And so the added benefit of having all these connections is LinkedIn only shows you in the API the results of your first and second order connections. So you run your script, and you can only see names of first and seconds. Thirds you can't see. You can usually see some information on the website about
Do you know like
those
what
guys.
company the thirds are, or?
It's the same company, but it's really just based on their model of I directly interact with you, or we have someone in common, so you're a second, or a third is I have no interaction with those people.
Right, a potential friend of a friend, but you haven't met them yet.
Right. So the idea is you want to get that stuff.
And from what I understand, and like I don't do the LinkedIn thing just because I'm off doing my own thing, but from what I understand, it's like just basically a professional social network for people to be like, oh hey, can you introduce me to so and so?
Right.
Maybe I'm looking to get a job at whatever. Can you put in a good word for me? That kind of stuff.
Right. Exactly. So the idea where we went with that was recruiters want to recruit with everybody, and they're always looking for the next person. So I made a tech guy. Recruiters love tech guys because tech is hot right now, and everyone wants to hire a tech guy. And so we just started going all these random companies. So client, and then we just started going through random verticals. So drug companies, industry, skate industries, tech, finance, healthcare. We just started. Every recruiter that was a person, anybody that was a recruiter was like, hey, let's be friends. It's LinkedIn. I might be interested in a job. Everyone that says they're an open networker, I started connecting with them.
This is like MySpace. This is like you being friends with Tom.
Yeah, exactly. LinkedIn was very, very nice and gives you lots of people that you should suggestions. So you're like, cool, I'll send all these emails and just click.
Do you ever run into problems with the API or with your profile where like your guy just like, they're like, whoa. You've got too many friends. Like you can't have this many connections.
Yeah, not too many friends, but they do. In the forums, I kind of read the forums ahead of time. If you get reported for spam, they can block your account. Like if a lot of people say, I don't know this guy. So we were pretty careful that we looked at people that everyone had 500 plus connections. So you knew these guys.
Nobody was going to report you because they're a recruiter.
Right. So the companies with the guy that I may really want to be friends with the CIO for all these companies, but not all of them have 500 connections. A lot of them have 50 connections because they're actually careful with who they LinkedIn with, or they only LinkedIn with people they know. So that wasn't really going to work. They're not going to let some random guy that doesn't even have a photo, in his LinkedIn profile.
Oh, you didn't give him a photo and like a resume and everything?
Not yet. He has a nice resume. He's got a good education. He's worked a couple places.
Nice.
I put enough to make it, moderately legit, but.
Does he have hobbies?
No hobbies. I haven't had anybody endorse him yet either.
Okay,
so, although that should be fun.
So once you add all these recruiters, now I take it your peripheral network just gets blossoms.
Right. So we went from like, 2 people, linked me to 100 people to 170 or so connections linked me to 14 million people.
So they just start coming to you at some point because they're like, wow, this guy must be really popular.
Yeah, and then we get requests. I've gotten all sorts of recruiters offering me jobs or wanting to talk to me about jobs. And in the slides, we did some slides showing me who's been on LinkedIn for 5 years, and I don't LinkedIn with everybody, but I have a significant number of people, and John, who has been on LinkedIn a couple months, and showed that, well, in these different verticals, I can see 20 people that are second order connections, and he has 500. And I think one of the ones we did was like Bank of America, where I actually have a first order connection with Bank of America, and my second order connections was like 200, and John had like 1,000 second orders, and he didn't even have a first order connection.
Oh, so just because of the recruiters?
Just because of the recruiters, and then once you have people, now that he has 100 and so things, he's legit. So people are much less hesitant to LinkedIn because now it's a legit person. He's got 170 connections. It's not like it's one person trying to connect. So when we go to do pen tests now, this guy can now LinkedIn with people.
So the whole idea is, you tie this in with your Maltego or whatever tools you're using, and suddenly you can start, farming for data on those different companies because you already have a foot in the door.
So I can now turn, L Smith into Lisa Smith or whatever. And now, can I see more information? Can I see her background? Can I see where she went to college? Because that may be who I want to send a, hey, come buy tickets, or hey, there's an alumni barbecue or whatever. And you may be able to really personalize an attack on a person based on those connections.
And so when you query the API and you start coming through this data, especially coming to this talk, what did you find of interest that really just popped out and you were like, whoa, didn't expect that?
The big one was how you see 0 results for third order people. So on the website, third order people, you can see usually like first name and last initial and pictures and some things. You see 0 data via the API with that. So that was no fun. And then you're limited by your account type with the API. So if you have a free account, you can get 100 results, where if you pay, you can get up to 500 or 1,000. So that's a little less stringent on the website, where they'll let you actually go through quite a few pages before that happens.
And any surprises? Like, did you get Kevin Bacon?
We did get second level with the president, so that's pretty cool.
That's something.
I didn't check our Kevin Bacon number yet. We have to see if we can get that linked in with him.
I think the Obama's number is pretty good too.
So nothing crazy. It's just been handy with, when we get to do slides, just seeing, well, let me see, just trying to pick random verticals and then seeing who had, better results and who had more connections.
And what has the reaction been since you've done your talk here at Derbycon? Have you heard from LinkedIn?
No nasty emails yet.
That's good. That's good.
It's the weekend, maybe Monday morning, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone realizes it's in fun and more of a research project to see what would happen.
It sounds like it's easily recreatable.
Yeah, I think anyone can create one, set it up, and just start looking for recruiters for different companies and start that way.
Yeah, how long from when you launched this guy to when you were getting valuable enough data that you're actually, hey, I'm using this in my next phishing attack?
Probably a week, and that was really just based on trying to time out. When you first start, you have no connection, so people may be leery of you. You want to slowly get a few of those so you don't get marked as a spammer. And then once you have a few, you can kind of move the pace up a little bit.
Nice. That's awesome. Chris, fascinating stuff, man. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks, Darren.
I've been going off lately about how much I love Ting, and for very good reason. This is actually my own personal setup with Ting. I love their 3G modems. I use them with Wi-Fi Pineapple. It's so much fun. It has rocked. It's been solid performance, and I'm really happy because a lot of you guys have already checked out their awesome customer-first approach to the cell market. They are a godsend. And if you haven't already heard about Ting, check this out. It's a new service that brings clarity, usability, and big savings to mobile phone users. See, Ting offers one very simple plan, honest pricing, megabytes, minutes, text messages, each of those billed separately. So you don't have to think about if you're gonna go over and pay ridiculous fees. You just pay for what you use, no BS. Check it out at ting.com/hak5. And they've got an online savings calculator there, so go ahead and get started. If you're going to, as a Hak5 viewer, you'll get $75 off your first month of service just for being an awesome Hak5 viewer. So just head over to ting.com/hak5. The coupon will be activated right away. It's just that simple with Ting.